gained traction during the elections. It was like a wave, and it was swept, and they got victory. But unfortunately, what Nigerians expected did not happen, even within the first tenure of late Muhammadu Buhari's administration, and even the second one. Even some of us, including myself here in the studio, we bought into that agenda, thinking that the man who, Buhari then, who was a military man, was going to instill discipline, fight corruption. But unfortunately, it was in the presidency or in the Ajuru. A lot happened under him. But that's a story for another day. Of course, Nigerians have become too used to being used or being maneuvered, by the political class. But when it said twice beaten, once beaten, is twice shy.
Yeah.
So why would you continuously be beaten and then you subject yourself to such, So if APC did it and made us believe as Nigerians, because at the time, even the Jonathan today that goes around talking about democracy, of course, Nigerians were dissatisfied with his administration because corruption was at the highest at the time. And so, but today, some of them gather and talk about democracy. I'm not condemning the gathering, no doubt. They gather, including the Obasanjo himself. I went to Ota a few days ago, my son's graduation. You couldn't access Ota, including his Bells University, Ota Farm and all that. You can't access. And this man was the president of Nigeria for 8 years. And so if he had done something solid on the road between Lagos and that Chagomo, or that goes to Idoroko and all that, if he had done something very solid, that road wouldn't have failed by now. But these are Nigerians that are still talking about democracy and reminding even this present administration of what they have not done. So they appear to be the same bets, so to say. And so when you talk about these defections, trends, and all that, it doesn't make any sense. There's no news and all that. But the only difference here now is that, we had some form of formidable opposition political parties, so to say, in the past. But today, leading to 2027, we are still like a year plus. And for fear of unknown, Nigerians are too afraid. And that's why nobody can come even in the studio speak, because you're afraid. Because when you speak, probably they will take away the next food on your table. And so you feel that you won't talk. Because when you talk, then you are deprived of the food. But I don't know, because even people who eat so much, are very close or closer to to their griefs. And so why must we, as Nigerians, stay silent without, facing these guys headlong? And that's the same thing that's happening with the governors. The governors have lost faith with, the democratic process. And so they believe that once you are the center, of course, that you control the machinery of the state. The state institutions, the instruments of the state, like the police and forces, even INEC, who appointed the INEC, the one that is coming now. You know what I'm saying? He is the presidency. And so the fear of Tinubu is ought to be maybe the beginning of wisdom for some of them who are just, not clearly defined, where they ought to be.
We have a break coming up, so I expect a short answer to this question. PDP was once in this position, and I'm glad you referred to the Obasanjo administration. Once upon a time, it seemed no other party existed in this country besides the PDP. They were that dominant. Looking at that era and today's APC, is it the same thing?
Same trend.
So if we've been here before, then why are there hues and cries about a shrinking opposition if the PDP also occupied this position?
At the time, you see the difference. PDP came up. The PDP assumed the political leadership role from 1999.
That's right.
And so every other, including Action Congress or whatever, that later metamorphosed into the today's APC, with the same Tinubu merging with the political forces of former or late President Buhari, okay, the CPC and all that. And so it was because at the people had lost faith with the transition programs, series of transition programs, and those who managed to say let them just try. We are not the best in society.
So it was just about getting into democratic rule.
They got into democratic. They didn't know that they were going to get the thing, and then when they got, so they used every instrument at their disposal to ensure that they perpetuated themselves in power. Okay. And so the other ones rising up in form of opposition, they were just struggling. And so that's the difference. But here, this was managed to sell the change agenda, which some of us, including myself in the studio, we bought into that change agenda because we are tired with the level of corruption in the country, believing that the man, that Rotimi Amechi told us then, that was very, very just, fair, and all that. Unfortunately, the man sat in Aso Rock and never knew what was going on.
Let's take this break. After Welcome back. Hard Facts 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Chinedu with the trend of defections. I'm asking important questions. What's the worst case scenario? What happens to a democracy if there's no viable opposition? In the previous hour that made up the big stories, we heard Senator Siriake Dixon say that an opposition without, I beg your pardon, a democracy without opposition is dictatorship. I think I should play that again as we dive deeper into this conversation.
The governor consulted me several times, and I was not convinced because I didn't see any compelling reason for a second-term governor to defect. No reason. And we know the issues in the PDP, but issues are there to be solved by the governors and the leaders. Have they not been the leaders of the parties? And if we don't succeed in retrieving the PDP, in saving the PDP, then we'll be part of a collective decision, which again should not be the ruling party, because I believe there must be opposition. A democracy without opposition ceases to be democracy. It becomes dictatorship from that day. It becomes totalitarianism from that day.
The words and voice of Senator Siriake Dixon. I'm back with my guest, Professor Ken Nweke, a professor of politics and governance at Ignatius Ajuru University. Now, Prof, the opposition is obviously shrinking. We don't know how thin it will get. But what is the worst possible case? How thin can it get? And how dangerous can it be if it gets to the very thinnest?
It's a question, a double barrel. Well, for me, there's nothing to worry. It's expected. Like I said, the only problem with Nigerians is fear of the unknown. Fear. The center. You know the center? Center has a lot to offer. Center appoints the IG. IG appoints commissioners of police. So loyalty in that order, last order. You remember this last tinted glass? Oh, it was IG. In fact, unfortunately, it was even in River State. That day, I can't remember any other state that the level of enforcement, in enforcement in other states. But a place of a state of nobody, where anybody can just come. They even appoint sole administrator, just come, carry, go. Because we are not able to learn our lessons, unfortunately. See, the issues around defections. What can it? The worst that can happen is that all senators presently, before 2027, APC, all House of Reps, 360, APC, 109 senators, APC. Okay? Oracle, let me let you know. In Nigeria, multi-party democracy is not working and cannot work.
I'll take the first one. It's not working. I don't agree that
I say multi-party democracy. And I will explain what I mean.
Yes, please.
May not work.
Okay.
Yes, on paper it will be existing. Like I'm talking about where we are now. Not that it has not been working. On paper, constitutionally speaking and all that, there's provision for multi-party system.
Yeah.
Multiple political parties have registered and the intending ones will register. So, and that's why when people talk about one party state, on one hand, I disagree. On the other hand, I understand when you say that no, because when you don't have a formidable opposition that you can find in the National Assembly, you cannot also find them in state assembly. Even if you find state assemblies, it's the minutest force, so to say. I'm talking about National Assembly. And so you're asking me the most dangerous and so I'm saying that the worst scenario will be that 360 over 360 109 over 109. I get what I'm saying? But does that portend a one-party state? No. On paper, constitutionally speaking, there are more than, if I can remember, more than 15 political register or 18 registered political parties.
Around 20, yeah.
Yes, and more will come before 2027. So Nigeria will always be described as a multi-party democracy. But in practice, as at today, not tomorrow, not yesterday, where the trend is going is the fear of Tinubu's administration has become the beginning of wisdom for a lot of the opposition, including the PDP. Don't also forget, Oracle, that PDP has got a lot of internal wranglings, also caused by a lot of moles that are serving in the government at the center,
which is a motivating factor for the defections. And as of today, no known law has been broken in line with the defections. No governor has come out to say, I was held at gunpoint.
Of course.
I was, right? They give reasons that while people can argue about in the media, there is no crime committed.
Of course.
So, we want to believe that based on what we know, they defected based on free will.
The people who are defected, like Sereke, this is saying a second-term governor. He's also, because he knows that there's no governor that nobody in office, including Tinubu himself, leaves office that he can come clean. And so the fear of also being investigated is also there.
Well, he has resigned. He has not defected. He hasn't declared the destination.
There's no need. We don't need to go to a soothsayer to ask where he's going. It is clear. So
he will have to disclose that now, Prof. Right?
So you don't know where he's going.
I'm being as objective.
Okay, take it for free now. He's going to ADC. Okay, is that clear now?
I don't think he's going there.
So what is your problem?
No, I don't think it's personal opinion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. For the purpose of objectivity and being politically correct.
Correct.
On this position, Mike 1, Nigeria Info.
He has not moved.
He has not gone anywhere.
Okay, but he has resigned.
He has left the PDP.
But you know, under normal circumstances, if our laws were true laws, I mean laws enforceable.
Yeah, it's wrong for Bayelsa governor to be partyless.
Do you understand?
Yeah, it's wrong.
At the moment, it shouldn't be in, I mean, even 1 second.
Yeah.
It's either you are moving from one place to another, since the law does not hold him as executive governor, right? But for the other members of assembly, he said, I mean, yesterday I watched, see the other assembly members or whatever are joining him. But you cannot, within 24 hours, they have not been able to disclose where they are going to and all that. And it is wrong, for goodness sake. And they are telling me that I should wait or consult one out where they are going to. One, Sereke, I like the personality, the courage of Senator Sereke Dixon. So if we have 5 of them in the South, we have human beings. You see, a former governor, 2 terms, he was in the House of Reps. What, for goodness sake, is he looking for? I'm talking about Sereke Dixon. And so also, Diri, for instance, he was in the Senate. What else? Oh, he wants to go back to Senate and sit and so, or get protected, or you remember the fight that he got during his second term bid.
Prof, if we think about it from the perspective of service, would that be too ambitious? Let's take an example that people like to cite. The governor of Abia State. He had his fair share of time in the banking sector. He was so effective that today we can clearly say and be correct that the exit of Alex Oti from Diamond Bank collapsed that bank. He was that good. Those that know him from that time can speak about his antecedent. Now, the man has achieved as much as, but he made his way into politics still because he believed that he has something to offer. There are many other technocrats and professionals who have worked in in some capacity. They've contributed their fair share. Peter Obi used to be in the professional space as well. Now these men are in politics looking to serve in some capacity. So if you're judging the person who was governor, was also senator, and is still looking for something, what do we say about the professional who have had their fair share? Tinubu was also in the corporate sector. He worked in a few oil companies long before he became senator. Had his time at Senate, was governor. Now you can use that to say, okay, why does he want to be president? He's been there, he's seen it all, he's done it all. I believe that he believes that he has something to offer by way of service. So would it be unfair to accord that same standard to somebody who has been senator and governor to still say they have something to offer by way of service?
What kind of other services? For me, Sereke Dixon, Senator Diri, His Excellency, with due respect, is one of those governors I respect in South. And of course, should I still hold back, or should I still hold on to the respect? I doubt if I want to hold on to it. I'm holding it back, not onto it. But for Sereke Dixon, it's been a formidable voice in the National Assembly, right? And it's not about the problem we have here, Oracle. It's about the one fear of being probed.
Okay.
Fear of undergoing, EFCC, the
forensics.
When you hear of EFCC, of course, first of all, your heart will jump into your belly. And so no matter how highly placed you think that these ones are, they don't want to be, ordinarily, if your children here, if you have children that have consciences, that, oh, my dad is under investigation with EFCC. Come on. Oracle, they will, even as little as they are, they will ask you plenty questions. It's embarrassing.
It is.
And so, any right thinking man will want to evade
scrutiny.
Yes. Not that you may have been found, how many of them found culpable and maybe thrown into jail? Not as many as. One way or the other, including the Fayose that is talking today. I don't even know where his own case has ended. And so, politically speaking, there is no member of any political party in Nigeria. No political party has clear ideology and maybe manifesto, so to say, like, look, manifesto is on paper. Because manifesto or ideologies or manifestos are driven by ideologies.
Yeah.
Ideology is simply, interpreted. It's about ideas. People put their ideas, they are thinking, how their perception, the ways that, you like I came in, you can know whether I'm a capitalist or I'm on the ground. Because what I'm wearing, the way I'm dressed, anyhow way you want them, I go give you. Even from classroom students, I tell them sometimes you want to show, but me, I also show you one. I remove my jacket. I also show you another one if there is. So the point I'm making is that when you see a true member of a political party, ordinary in same climes,
they bleed the ideology.
You will see.
Yeah.
Either you are asking me the dress code for professors and all that. Today is mixed up. There are professors that are heavy capitalists, collecting in and out, up and down. I get what I'm saying. Yeah. So it may be difficult for you to, predict who should be a professor or who is not. But the point I'm making here is that for an ideal member of a political party in Nigeria, or political parties, so to say, you remember Governor Nweke then, or even as Minister Nweke, he will tell you that political party is mere vehicle. If you're in Ajuru Park and you want to go to Eleme Junction, just enter anyone, whether na APC, na PDP, or na PRP, or na ADC, you enter. Provided it takes you to Eleme Junction, you come down. So it is about what they stand to gain. It is not in Nigeria multi-party democracy. I've come back to it. The multi-party democracy, yes, on paper is existing, constitutional speaking is existing, but at some point, like we are right now, it does not seem to be existing because of fear of those who have done second term, the fear of being interrogated by EFCC so that their children will not see them on television that they are handcuffed. 1. 2, I can imagine, even as my children are, that I'm handcuffed for one thing or the other. I in fact, let the ground open and enter because I can't explain to them. I think that's one reason. 2, even at that, those of them like Yahaya Bello also evaded the arrest of EFCC. Where is he now? He's still somewhere. And so what is the problem? Either because they have also identified. And so when people identify, somehow their sins can be covered. That's 1. 2, those who have done first term, they want second term tenure.
I guarantee.
Yes. So do you know what Sereke Diri suffered in Bayelsa to win his second term? He almost lost because of the might from the state. But the people stood their ground, and that's how he won. But today, if he was actually committed to the ideals of PDP, which I knew before now, of course, he will not tell you that, he will not do what he's trying to do now. Right. Taking Bayelsa, Niger Delta, where a president, Goodluck Jonathan, who is still living, a legend, political legend.
We have to take calls, Prof.
It's unfortunate.
08179230002. I'll take that again, but slower. 08179230003. WhatsApp is 08090306416. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch, listen, and engage. The questions are simple. Can the government accountable? Do you agree? The Nigeria's political landscape at this time lacks a viable opposition. Thank God Ability Atuebu says, Sam, why some of the opposition political parties are jumping to APC is because they are not sure of winning elections. They are assuming that the ruling party will rig them out with their tools. If INEC has been sincere in conducting free and fair election, I don't think people would be jumping from one political party to another looking for cover. There's an interesting comment here from Ben. It says, Prof, a few days from today, you'll be having your inaugural lecture. Kindly use that occasion to inform Nigerians that it will be delusional for opposition to unseat President Tinubu. Anyone thinking of investing resources in unseating Tinubu should channel those into Kalu Kalu, Ben says. Okay, I should have a call. Emeka calls from Elele. Hello, Emeka. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. You have a minute. Please go ahead.
Yes. I want to tell you now that
Emeka, turn off your radio, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, turn off your radio.
Yes, I'm out. So, Doyediri, Enugu State Governor, Atiku Abubakar, former governor of Sokoto State, Tambawa, they should go and beg Nweke. They said Nweke is betraying the party. Now they have left that party. Doyediri have become, Enugu all have become the same people that was fighting Nweke. And the worst part of it is that we have Jonathan, I'm hearing that he wants to run for president. He cannot even hold his kitchen. His kitchen, it is a Biafra now. The APC has taken over Biafra. Where is he going again? When he cannot hold his kitchen, his own kitchen.
Okay, Emeka. Thank you very much. Gospar calls from Rumadara. Hello, Gospar.
Yeah, my brother Sam.
Good evening.
Good evening. Also want to greet your guest in the studio. Good evening, Prof.
Thank you.
Sam, there is any time that a ruling party is having opposition, it is when APC came on board as a ruling party in Nigeria. Now, in 1999 down to 2007, PDP was holding sway in Nigeria. What happened? It has been always carry go. But as I speak, Sam, it's not a political party being opposition. We have individuals that are also opposition individuals in Nigeria that are criticizing the government. If there's any time that the people are well informed and involved in politics and governance, it is now, Sam. Do you know why they're leaving PDP, Sam?
Tell me.
It's because of the crisis and problems in PDP.
Okay.
In PDP today, if you want to say that you will have ticket in PDP, you will be very uncertain because of the crisis in that party.
All right, Gospel, I have to move on. You have just a minute. Cookie Gam from Mile 3. Good evening.
Oracle, good evening.
Good evening.
Oracle, you know one thing happened about Doyen Diri. I'm disappointed Doyen Diri. The government has passed 2 years about going out. Want to defect now this year because it's sort of unknown. But that's because Ashimole said that if you defect to APC, he has things happening. He want to come to APC where all the things are forgiven. That is why he want to defect to APC. No problem to bet. Let us remember that the fact that drive him there, that when they want to move him, people stood for him. For him to have defected now, what is the problem? The Oracle, see, Nigerian politicians they don't have ideology, personal interest. What they will get, what they will eat. But let us wait. Let all of them defect to APC in 2027. Still will lose the election. Oracle, right. I said today is 16th. Let all the governors defect to APC 2027. People will lose the election.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, presenter and guest. Sam, your guest professor in the studio was my political data analysis lecturer in 2007 at the then RSCOE. The analysis has provided on the recent defection of governors from PDP to APC is nothing but the obvious truth. The voice of opposition has been silenced in Nigeria's government and politics through the instrumentality of the powers that be, and this might weaken the true practice of democracy, as failure to defect might be perceived as readiness to face warrant. Professor Walden. Okay, that's from Dr. Gentle Owukio from Edo. We're down to seconds. Prof, usually these conversations are geared in the direction of development. So if we have them without preferring solutions, then we've simply highlighted problems. So, sir, where do we go from here?
It's simple. People should not be cowed by the trend of defections happening. The person talked about my inaugural, that is just you hear enough of being cajoled, and that's why the likes of Diri, I asked some questions when I heard that yesterday. How many of them are being prosecuted actually got into jail? Why do you want to leave a political party which platform you fought to get to where you are today?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like I said, multi-party democracy, yes, on paper it's working in Nigeria. It's not working. Sometimes it works. On paper it works. At times it won't work.
So, Prof, what do we do?
Then, what do we do? It is to hold on. Remember, APC sold change mantra to Nigerians.
That's
and
right.
They bought into it
successfully.
Successfully.
Yeah.
And in 2023, P2B, like Fayose said, is one man till tomorrow, even in 2031, can also win elections.
Okay, so
Nigerians must as a matter of fact, insist that the upcoming reforms, electoral reforms,
Okay.
must include transmission, automatic transmission of results from the polling units.
Electronic.
Electronic. So manual or different levels of collation should be discarded.
Thank you, Prof.
And when that happens,
we are out of time.
then we will know whether this gamut of defections will ever succeed.
Thank you very much, Prof. Always wonderful doing this with you. Have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you.
All right. The news update comes up at 5. After that,